What's up, guys? CinaViews here. Today we're going to be having a first look at NBA 2k26. What we're going to do in this video today is take a little tour around the city, and we're going to focus on MyBuilder. So many of you know last Friday was early access, and I got a chance to preview the game, go through all of the modes, work on my first build, join a crew, etc., etc., etc. So I'll be taking you into a tour on that in later videos. But for this video specifically, I'm going to focus on just the overview of the city, the smoothness, what you can and cannot do, and then I'm going to jump into MyBuilder. So stay tuned for the video and let's get into it. So I already created my build for this video, but I'm going to just show you the overview of the city. As you can see, it's very immersive and everything is pretty much close by, so you don't really need to go too far from the city, basically. You can see the wreck is here. Next to it is Proving Grounds. Right in the midst of it has, the stores. And you could jump into the portal and go to the park. Right now I'm just checking out wreck just to see the new look of each of the arenas where we normally play. So as you can see here, the wreck kind of looks actually very new. Kind of looks like a recreational center. Seriously, it actually looks like a wreck. Normally when you go in a wreck, it doesn't look like this. You're just sitting in the locker room ready to go to the game, and that they don't do that in this one. So yeah, as you can see, it's very smooth. 2K for the first time ever is running at 60 frames per second. If you don't know what that is, for the non-tech people, it just means that the frame rates are a lot higher, so movement will be more smooth without glitches and things like that. Went to, I think this is any up, or is this PGs? Yeah, this is PGs. As you can see here, it gives like a locker room feel to it as soon as you walk into Proving Grounds. And yeah, Proving Grounds has a new makeover. The wreck has a brand new makeover, as well as the park. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the city. I just wanted you to see an overview of it. And you're limited now to a skateboard. I think you can buy a bike. I haven't seen any vehicles, but you won't need vehicles for this 2K because everything is pretty much close by. And right here is Annie Up. You can see pretty much the normal Annie Up. Nothing really changed in Annie Up. But PG's has changed, theater has changed, the park has changed, and the wreck, as well as my team. I'm not really a my team player, so I didn't really focus on that too heavy. But that's pretty much an overview of what the city looks like. I will get into it later in depth, but now let's jump into the MyBuilder. I'm going to walk you through my first build and some tips and tricks that you can do to work on your build when you get the game this Friday. So in NBA 2K26, the MyBuilder has implemented several new features that allow you to take your MyPLAYER to the next level. Let's look at what the MyBuilder has to offer in 2K26. So starting out, you'll get to set your appearance, and it's pretty much the same way you did it in 2K25. You can upload a face scan if you have that. You can work on your hair, your eyes, your brows, facials, features, structure, facial hair, color, skin shade, etc., etc. Once you're done setting the way that your MyPLAYER will look, you then go to the builder. And you still have three options to create your build. You can create your own build, basically starting from scratch. You can use the Pro Tune builds, which are created by the pros from NBA 2K staff and sometimes members of the 2K community, as well as you can use NBA builds, which you can just model your build after your favorite player or someone who you want to recreate with your own special twist to it. And also, Mike Wing stated that they've upgraded the names of our builds so they can produce many one-of-ones. So based on what you create, you could get, say, a 3-level scoring mid-range slasher. So they've really expanded the build definition, and you're not limited as you were in 2K26 to seeing the same ISO creator, two-way stopper, etc., etc. Next, you're going to fill your attributes up to 99. And if you notice, in this new builder, it shows you which badges and takeovers you can get with your build, as well as this new feature that allows you to construct your player by build. Now, I haven't really delved into that yet. I stuck to just the basics looking at the badges that I'll be getting, and just sticking to the attributes myself. I'll go into that in another video. But for now, when you're done, it's going to move you to the profiler screen to actually finalize your build. Now, this is the final stage that you get to preview your build. And as you see, it will pop up with shades of, which gives you the top 3 players or 2 players that your build closely resemble. Then you will get your archetype build, and this is where let's see what Mike Wang and his team have come up as far as creativity wise. If you're a 3-level scorer, 2-level scorer, slashing playmaker, or 3-level scorer, board hunter, or whatever the case may be, based on how you set your attributes up in the screen prior. And you also have your go-to badges, which shows you the top 3 of your strongest skill sets, as well as underneath that you have the top attributes, which shows you basically a grade on the top 3 things that your build has to offer. Then you have the scouting report part that shows you the strengths and weaknesses of your build. So you can kind of play around in the builder to ensure that you have more strengths than weaknesses, or if you don't like the weaknesses, you can go back to the screen before and then edit your actual build based on the weaknesses that you have in the scouting report. And that's pretty much it with the builder. It's pretty simple. You should just take some time to play around with it and get familiar with it. I have a couple of tips that I would say. First and foremost, don't be afraid to explore, but I also will say as a second tip, stick to what you know. So if you're a lock guard, don't try to be a playmaker, don't try to be a shooter, don't try to, better yet, don't even try to make a build, because you can try to add different features into your lock build, but I wouldn't recommend going to a whole nother position that you don't know how to play, because a lot of times big men think as a big man should think. Let me go block shots, let me go get rebounds, let me set screens, etc. Now, if you're a guard's mentality is either to score, pass the ball, or defend. That's pretty much it. They're not really getting rebounds. They're not really thinking too tough about blocking shots and things like that. So stick to what you know. It's not too bad to explore, but you'll have a higher learning curve if you take a new build and do a new position of something that you've never done. The third tip I'll have is to tweak the attributes to get different names and better names, better yet. I didn't like my archetype. It was just a basic 3-level scorer. I tried to tweak it, but I didn't get any creative names like I seen other people's builds. Like, wow, that name's tough. But it is what it is. So just tweak the attributes so that you can get better names. And then last but not least, have fun and be creative. Like, this is your first time making your build, so you want to kind of be creative, expand your knowledge of the game. Just try and do different things to see what type of archetype you get, and pay attention to the strengths and weaknesses of your build. So that about wraps it up for the MyPLAYER Builder. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Make sure you follow me on Twitch, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok at CinaViews, and I'll see you guys in the next video.